Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time to start a let's play on Farming Simulator 19 in the Oberthal map with a bunch of mods. Most notably Autodrive and Courseplay. We're gonna start from scratch, so we currently own nothing, no land, no vehicles, and we're gonna have to work our way from the bottom up in order to create an empire. My goal is to basically own the entirety of the map, utilize all the factories, animal pens and everything at our disposal and kind of automate this entire world. Now, because we're starting from scratch and we basically own nothing and just one of these fields is gonna cost us a fortune, I had to think about a different strategy. However, in order to achieve that, we first have to borrow some money. We're gonna take up a loan of approximately 400,000 euros. If we head back into the map, there are a couple of things we need to purchase in order to make this work. The first thing is going to be this field right here. This is the smallest field, just 42,000, something we can actually afford and work with. There's another plot I want to purchase for myself, namely the fertilizer plant, so we're gonna go ahead and buy that as well. In order to make the farm work, I believe we're also gonna need these small plots in order to use some of the factories that are on our farm. So that will be another 5,300. These are going to be our starting targets. We are going to mow grass on field 30, bring it over here into the silage factory, and then hopefully sell it for profits. Within the fertilizer plant, we are going to utilize the lime station. We need to bring tons of water over there in order to get some lime back that we then can sell if we want to. By the way, the mods I'm using are going to be linked down in the description. However, if we hit Ctrl G, we are opening up the GlobalCompany window. So everything we just purchased in terms of factories is going to be listed here. The fermenter is the one thing that I want to utilize in order to create silage from grass. So that is going to be our first money maker. The second money maker is going to be the fertilizer plant. Let's open up this window and we want to get into lime production because that only requires water, which is incredibly cheap. Anyways, time to head into the shop. My goal is actually to start with lots of equipment that I can use until the end game, so I don't want to just go too cheap. To create the lime, I'm going to need one of these slurry tanks, and I'm actually going to go with this big boy here with a capacity of 30,000 liters. And as you can see, this is capable of carrying some water, which is exactly what we want. I'm not going to customize anything just yet since that is gonna add to the price, but eventually I would like to give this a different color and everything. We can do that later on in the workshop. Well, let's go ahead and buy this huge tank. Thank you. In order to drive around the tank, we're also going to need a truck, obviously. And I'm gonna go with this guy, which is still cheap, but comes with a lot of horsepower. Also, no customization for you just yet. Once we have created some lime, we need a way to transport it, which is why we get into the trailers. And if we scroll all the way back here, this is the guy that I want. I can keep this until the end game, no problem. It can carry basically everything, including the lime, which is this icon right here. Let's go ahead and spend the 78k on this one. Here we are at the shop, and this is essentially everything I need for the lime production. It's gonna be totally worth it. Essentially, we will automate the task of bringing water over to the factory, and then all we have to do is wait for a couple of in-game hours. We can also accelerate that, and then we're gonna take our trailer in order to ship away the lime and make some money. With that out of the way, we still need a way to mow this field and bring it over to the factory in order to ferment it into silage. Let's go ahead and dive into the mowers. We are gonna try to keep this cheap, so I'm only gonna go with a mower, a tractor and a loading wagon, and we do everything in one go. So eventually I would like to get better mowers, but for now we're just gonna take this front attachment. And by the way, this is the only cheaty mod that I have installed, but you know, sometimes it takes 2 hours to harvest a field and I need to make videos. My time is valuable, so I decided to get away from realism there a little bit in order to make my attachments a little bit faster, just 7 kilometers an hour. So it's not world changing, but it's gonna be worth it to me. Only need 70 horsepower, that is not gonna be the problem. However, we need a loading wagon in order to pick that stuff up. If we dive into the loading wagons and scroll a little bit back, we can choose between these two, and I'm actually gonna go with the green one because I really like the looks of it, and later on we can add a cover. That just makes my day. With this guy we have the option to load up some grass, silage and other stuff, and it's gonna require 240 horsepower. So that might get into our way a little bit. But yeah, to me it's gonna be absolutely worth it, 165,000 down the drains. Now there's only one thing more to purchase, and I'm actually also not gonna go cheap with my tractor. What I would like to do is scroll back here a little bit, and we're gonna go with the John Deere 8R series. This guy can be upgraded to 450 horsepower, so it's gonna last us until the end game as well. We're not gonna make any adjustments because obviously we cannot afford anything else, but there we go, we are left with 2,000 euros in the bank, hopefully ready to earn some money. Now one thing is going to be really important to me, namely that we automate everything that can be automated as elegantly as possible. So the first thing I'm probably going to do is just drive from the shop to my home base in order to set up an Autodrive route. Autodrive window isn't there yet, so Alt and the number 0 on your number pad. And I probably want to change a couple of settings right away. For instance, drive on right here, auto connect, no, collision detection, yes, use folders, yes. In the second tab, I want notifications to be endless, so I actually have to click them. This is going to be especially useful once we have lots of stuff going on, otherwise I forget which tractor needs attention. Yeah, that should be good for now. Let's go ahead, apply this, and then I'm gonna drive my equipment back, already setting up my first route with Autodrive. Alright, I got my 2 starting points right here. This first point is going to be called a shop. Next up, we want to split this into 2 lanes. And the first lane right here, I'm going to continue towards my farm. Now, I'm going to do this very carefully and absolutely perfectly, because eventually I'm going to have dozens of vehicles driving at the same time, and I want to make sure these waypoints are set up properly and clean. And here we go, this is going to be the dedicated entrance of my farm, so I want to make sure we carefully make our way into here. This is all going to be a one-way street, but I want to make sure I leave enough space towards the silo and also the sheds. Make a nice turn around this lamppost, and soon enough we have arrived at the water station. The water trigger is right here, so as soon as that pops up, actually we should already be able to do it. Yeah, just hit the R button and we can see on the bottom right, water is now filling up. 30,000 liters of capacity, and it's only gonna cost us 72 euros. And there we go, we are full. Actually, it was 75 euros, never mind. I'm a dirty little liar. Anyways, I want to make sure the waypoint for this is far enough away so the Autodrive mod doesn't have any issues, and we're gonna call this Load Water. Yeah, maybe later on I'm gonna come up with another naming scheme, but for now that is gonna be fine, and we're gonna continue our route. We're gonna make our way through the rest of the farm, which by the way is absolutely magnificent. I just love this map, and right at this point we wanna make our way towards the exit here. And we're gonna plot the path towards the fertilizer factory. It is fortunately enough not too far away, so a couple of trips shouldn't take that long. And now we wanna go ahead, set up another waypoint here in order to dump the water. Right here is the trigger. I'm already gonna unload my water so it can get processed. We can see on the display right here, we are approaching the 30,000 liters mark. If we get into the GlobalCompany window, fertilization plant, we should also be able to see that represented here. So every 1 hour it's going to produce 24,000 liters of fresh lime that we can then sell. Let's go ahead, drive a little bit further, maybe up to this point. I think I'm just going to drag this point a little further myself, right there, and then we're going to name this Factory Lime, and we need to bring water into this place. Okay, now all we have to do is make our way back to the farm in order to complete this loop. I'm making my way back to the dedicated entrance of my farm, and right here is where I will be able to connect the 2 lines or complete the loop. And I should be able to do that. Not looking too shabby. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the pick up and deliver mode. We want to pick up some water in my farm. We want to go ahead and unload that water in Factory Lime Water, and what we want to collect is the water. And now we want to go ahead and complete this as many times as possible. In this case, the Autodrive is going to do it 10 times. Now all we have to hit is the start button, and this should now all work completely automatically. Now I'm just going to drive with Autodrive once and observe everything in order to judge whether or not I have to change anything. But there we go, 25 meters before the waypoint, he is going to drive much slower in order to get the first trigger point. And then he's gonna immediately start loading up the water. There we go, we are full, and now he should continue. Okay, nice, so far so good. Let's see if he, okay, he actually hits the barrier there for a second. I will have to adjust this slightly. But there we go, we are approaching the water trigger, so this should now all work automatically, unloading the water. Yes, indeed. If we have a look at that fertilizer plant once again, we can see we've already collected 2,000 liters of lime. We are done and moving further, go back to the farm, get some more water. Did I do this correctly? Are we getting out of here alive? Yes, looking good. Good, I would say with that out of the way, we can go ahead and take care of the mowing process and automate this as well, to the best of our abilities, of course. Here we are back at the shop. Let's start up the tractor, and we want to attach the mower as well as the loading wagon. Mower goes right here in the front, loading wagon right here at the back, and since we have set up a couple of waypoints already, we can go ahead and just send this guy maybe to the water spot. That means I'm not gonna have to drive this myself. Here we go, back at the farm we are. It's time to set up some more routes. One thing we might want to take care of is a bypass right here. However, that probably needs to be quicker, otherwise they are just gonna take the currently available path. Anyways, eventually with my grass, I wanna arrive right here and unload everything into this factory. Just wanna make sure my waypoint is far enough away. Let's go ahead and name this factory silage, and we can bring in here grass, chaff, and hay, I believe. Let's see. No, it is actually straw, not hay. So we want to edit that to straw. Wonderful. We are gonna continue our waypoints and join up with the main line we have set up here. So imagine we just unloaded our grass. We then want to make our way to field 30 that we purchased, which already has some grass growing, by the way. This is a good thing since we don't have a seeder to take care of that ourselves. Oh, there we go, there's my truck. I just thought, hold on, I disabled the AI. But there we go, we want to make our way out of here and join our waypoints on the road. Instead of turning into the farm, we want to continue our waypoint system and just go straight. And actually at this point I want to make a right turn. Here we go, here we are, this is field 30, and I want to make sure we can make a proper turnaround here. So I'm just gonna map this out first, just gently turning around, making our way back. Here we are back at the road, and this should actually already be a loop completed. One of these waypoints close to the edge of the field needs to be my main waypoint. Let's just take this one for instance. I'm gonna call this one field 30 start. We might have several waypoints per field, so that is going to be my starting position. Let's just test that out. If I go all the way to the point, yeah, we are not in the way of the road anymore. Wonderful. Now it's time for a bit of courseplay. We want to mow this entire field, load it up, and then we want to tell the driver to actually get back to our plant in order to dump the grass and automatically ferment it into silage. To open up Courseplay, we hit Control Delete, and we want to get into management. No, actually right there. We want to set this to field work, and this is going to allow us to set up a course. The field we're dealing with is field 30, of course. The starting location is going to be around the current vehicle position. That's all good. Now let me figure out a bunch of good parameters in order to make this work. I think I'm going to go with these settings. 4 passes. I believe that might be good. We're going to save that course right away. It is field 30 and we are mowing with a 3.1 meter attachment. We want to start the course at the first waypoint, and we're going to use Autodrive to unload and refill. Once we are done, we're going to return to the first point and also release the Courseplay driver. As for Autodrive, we have to get into the pickup and deliver mode. We're going to pick up the grass in this location, and we need to set this to field start. And then obviously we want to unload at the factory silage for grass right there. Okay, don't do anything other with Autodrive. Right now we can just go ahead and drive this course. And there we go, we start to mow and hopefully automatically pick up the grass. Yes indeed, it is gonna take a while to get this wagon full, and you can also see right here in the corners we are losing a little bit of grass. But if it really bothers me, I can pick it up later on. Nice, now we have our 2 productions going. This guy is still doing a couple of rounds. Once he is done, I'm gonna pick up my last attachment, the trailer, from the shop, and then we should be able to make our first money back. And here we go, we are at 99%, almost full, which means the worker should now make his way towards the factory. Wonderful, we found our way onto the street. Of course, the tractor at the moment with its current horsepower is not gonna be very swift uphill, but we will upgrade that as soon as possible. My first concern is actually paying back the loan, so that doesn't hang over our heads like a cloud. There we go, my truck is actually still going for it. Oh man, we're gonna have so much lime. Gently approaching the factory and hopefully successfully releasing the load. Looks like we have our waypoint a little bit too close, so we want to push this a little further. Let's reactivate this guy. But there we go, I just had to move the trigger a little bit. And now we can see here on the number towards the left, we are filling this up and it's already going to work. We are done, so he is going back to the field right now. Autodrive is taking care of that, and then it's gonna hand over to Courseplay again in order to continue mowing the field. In the meantime, I can make myself a coffee and don't have to worry about a thing. Let's check in the factory here. Fermenter, it's gonna take care of 20,000 liters per hour, converting that into silage. If we go ahead and check the prices on that, actually, we have the grass right here, which is only worth around 90. Actually, there's one for 140. That's not bad. But if we turn that to silage, it's gonna increase in value substantially. And then if we check a little bit further for the lime, this is also worth about the same. And you know, the lime is extremely cheap. It's only gonna cost us a little bit of fuel, truck maintenance, and a tiny amount for the water. Alright, I'm gonna continue my work here a little bit, just filling up the water to its capacity. I mean, there is a lot of space for water in this factory, right? Yeah, we are not even a third done yet, but this is good. We need the money. As mentioned, there's a loan to pay back and we wanna purchase hundreds of millions of equipment and real estate. It's gonna be a glorious project, guys, let me tell you that. The tractor made his way successfully back to the field. Now it's just a question whether or not he's gonna pick up where he left off. I mean, not the fastest process in the world, but it definitely worked out. Great, I'm gonna catch you in just a second once I've progressed a little bit with this task and started filling up my factories. Alright guys, it is now the second in-game day. I harvested the grass field twice. I'm not 100% sure whether or not I need to plow this field in order to increase the yield, but one thing I'm fairly certain about is we should be able to fertilize it in order to double the yield. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough money for a fertilizer just yet, but I've been very busy. Let's actually get into the menu here and check out what kind of work I did. The fermenter has 43,000 liters of grass left, and we've already produced 186 liters of silage. Within the fertilizer plant, it is even crazier because, of course, I only had to bring water. We have 816,000 liters of water over there and already 342,000 liters of lime. Now it's actually time to figure out just how much money we're making. But before that, I want to make sure my equipment is all repaired and cleaned. So what I want to do is just approach this enough so that the mower is in the repair field and I can go ahead and repair this. I'm then gonna release the trailer so that I can bring the tractor in here. It is sometimes a little bit confusing in how to get these things in the right position. So they actually appear in this menu. And then hopefully this is gonna be the trailer. Wonderful. Yeah, they did need a little bit of repairing. Now it's time to go ahead and use our pressure hose in order to clean this. Wonderful, everything as good as new. Oh, by the way, I have a little bit of money and I made this by fulfilling some of these contracts. In my opinion, most of them are simply not worth it because you waste a lot of time, you don't get much money for it. So for now I just took care of a bunch of little things such as cultivating, because then I can just use Courseplay in order to do that and do something else in the meantime. They take about an hour or so to complete, but it will be much quicker to make money from our own stuff. I'm just gonna rinse and repeat this procedure with my truck here, and then we can finally sell something in order to hopefully pay back the loan. Obviously, I cannot drive to the shop automatically just yet, so it's time to plot another course. Let's actually go ahead and connect these guys here. Yeah, that should be good enough. And now make our way to the shop in order to pick up the trailer. I'm gonna be right back. Woohoo! Woohoo! Here we go, we are at the shop. This is my beautiful trailer. I'm really happy that I bought so advanced equipment, even though we couldn't afford that much. Time to head back home and pick up some stuff. Let's actually go into this menu here and check out what the best prices are at the moment. We're gonna start our adventures with the silage, even though the prices aren't the best, but as long as it's above 400, I believe it's still a good price, or normal price at least. So the central market is gonna be our first target. Now, in order to pick up the silage, we will have to turn around at this point. So this is exactly what I'm gonna try right now. Just add a nice little curve here. And hopefully we will be able to get our trailer just right. Yeah, looks like we can do something like that. That should theoretically work out. Open up the covers and load the silage. Wonderful. We have a fairly large capacity with this wagon. 59,000 liters. I'm gonna take that. Let's move a little bit further. Just create another waypoint maybe here. Come on, one more. That should be good. We're gonna name this waypoint load silage. And now all we have to do is make our way out of here and join up with our main route here. We are then going to head out of here. I believe at least that's the direction. Yeah, we probably wanna go up and all the way around there. Man, field 20 is one crazy field, I have to admit. Not sure I ever want to buy it. Actually, I do. I want to buy everything. Here we go. This should be the market, I believe, at least. Yeah, wonderful. Now we're probably going to approach it from this direction and just unload at this point. Oh, I'm really curious now. How much money are we going to make? 24,000 is our current balance. Yes, giving more money. There we go. 49k. So we made 25. Not too shabby considering this is not going to be our only load. But yeah, it's still gonna take a couple more in-game days in order to complete our task of repaying the loan. But there we go, time to make our way out of here, hopefully without any incidents, and we are gonna plot the way back. And then we should do another run testing the Autodrive route that I just made. Wonderful, we're already back where we have some routes. Let's go ahead, connect this, and then do one more delivery automatically. That means we want to pick up and deliver. We're going to pick up some silage and then we're going to go to the cell. I forgot to make the point. I'm such an idiot. Well, that is quite unfortunate. I'm going to be right back. By the way, in this case, we could also have used the train since it's a very convenient connection. And we will certainly do so in the future. Okay, so what I should have done is name this point here and call it cell global, hold the phone, central market. Wonderful. Now we have this point, which means we can take up some silage. Where are you? And we want to bring this to sell central market. Okay, let's do one test drive. And if that works, we're also going to sell some lime together. See if we can get some more money out of that. Alright, everything went well with the route. We have another 25k in the pocket. I'm now at the other facility here, the fertilizer plant. And it's time to set up the route for the pickup point here. So what we want probably is to turn around at this point and then kind of come in from behind here through all of these dispensers. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to do this all in one go, but it's gonna be a pain in the butt to do this turn here. Alright, in the first slot we have the fertilizer. Since we're here, we're gonna do all the waypoints, even the ones we don't require yet. I think this is gonna be solid fertilizer, so I want to call it that. The next station over here is going to be the seeds. Just want to move maybe up to this point here. That should be good. Not sure I mentioned that, but we want the waypoint slightly further away, so the truck is not going to overlap as soon as he reaches the trigger. Now we just have to connect it to this route and we should be golden getting out of here. Now it just so happens that the best selling point for the lime is also currently the central market, which is convenient for me. In order to accomplish this, the only connection we still need is from here to over there. Let's try to make this as straight as possible. Wonderful, that's one intersection completed. Let's hook up to one of these points and then set the loading target to be lime. Selling point is central market and we wanna carry lime. Go! This should even give us more money than the silage. 352,000 liters ready to go. Oh, please load up. Wonderful, I'm gonna meet you at the selling point. Here we go, here we are. Time to unload this beast. It's not gonna be that much money, but it's certainly gonna kick us above the 100k. And there we go, that was 40k. Now, I believe I'm actually gonna execute this plan a couple more times. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So we can maybe get to 200k or even more, which theoretically means we should be able to afford some fertilization technology. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna purchase one of you, and I want you to have an extension, a big one, and then a spreading disc, and then narrow tires as well. This is gonna cost us 48k, but I believe it's gonna be worth it, especially because of the grass field, but also we can take over some fertilization jobs if we have nothing better to do. That means I can take my tractor here and send him to the shop in order to pick that up. Since we're already at it, I'm also gonna grab some weights, and we're gonna go with 2,400 kilograms for this tractor. I'm gonna rinse and repeat the selling action 3 more times with the lime and then 1 more time with the grass, or the silage I should say. And by the time we see us in the next episode, I probably won't have any loans hanging above my head anymore. You know what, thinking about it, there's another thing I need. I'm gonna purchase one of these in order to be able to pick up some materials. I want this to be configured as a load bulk, and I would like this to be jet black, please, thank you. Oh man, I'm never gonna pay back the loan, am I? There's my fertilizer spreader and the weights. We're gonna send this tractor back to wash and repair, and then all we need is a bunch of fertilizer and bring this over with our new trailer there. But I'm probably gonna show you more of that in the next episode. You know, actually thinking about it, we might not even have to purchase the fertilizer. All we have to do is get into fertilizer production, and since we don't have any manure or compost just yet, we can just purchase it ourselves. We're now back up to 113,000 euros. Let's purchase 30,000 liters of manure, and then this is just being processed into fertilizer, and we'll be able to pick it up from there. Then all we have to do is to deliver it to our silos, which are right here. So I'm actually going to plan out the path in between the episodes. But yeah, this is going to be where we refill our equipment anyway. So I should bring all the production right over here and store it. Good plan, I approve. Alright guys, I would say with that out of the way, we are settled, at least in order to make the initial money. We haven't even scratched the surface of this map yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to support the video. For the algorithm, you would do me a huge favor. Have a great time, and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next episode. Bye bye.